You're watching the KUSI News at 10.
A homeless man is killed in an officer-involved shooting. I'm Vivi Tamayo. I'll have the details. In the state of California, we've seen more than 1,400 alcohol-related deaths in the last year. And tonight, they're trying to make sure that number goes down. And keep in mind that this new law is not just for those teens that will be obtaining their licenses after the first of the year. It is also for those who already have their licenses and have had them for under a year. Reporting live in Mission Valley, I'm Vivi Tamayo, KUSI News. Expect more bang for your buck the next time you go to the pump. I'm Vivi Tamayo. I'll have that story. Well, the Rolling Stones concert is still going on inside of Petco Park, and I bet you'd like to see what's going on in there. Dirty foot spas are a breeding ground for bacteria that can leave you with painful sores that can turn into scars, and it's all due to salons that neglect disinfecting foot spas between clients.
That looks like mold with dead skin.
Now, the best advice, according to the California Department of Consumer Affairs, is to ask questions. Make sure the salon you go to is clean, and ask to check the screen in the whirlpool. Trust me, I would not have put my feet in that one had it not been clean. It's better to always be safe than sorry. At first, police were calling this a murder-suicide. Right now, investigators are not sure what they have and what happened exactly in that room of the cardiac unit here at the hospital. What we can tell you was a 95-year-old patient this morning received a visit from her 86-year-old husband, and at some time just around 8:10 this morning, a nurse heard 2 gunshots. Well, the staff ran to the room, and what they discovered was a man slumped in a chair. He was dead, apparently from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The woman was just barely clinging to life. The hospital called a code blue, but despite those emergency efforts, the woman died within a minute of finding her. Investigators are not quite sure what the cause of death was, and they did not comment this morning on whether any of the equipment was tampered with. They are investigating at this time. We do know family members are here at the hospital, and we will update you with the very latest in the next hour. Reporting live, Vivi Tamayo, KUSI. Back to you, Ed. The College Town creeper will stand before a San Diego judge today who will decide whether there's enough evidence to send him to trial. 25-year-old Abraham Shorey is accused of burglary, assault, and attempted rape in 4 separate incidents involving 3 women and a man in the college area. Shorey pleaded not guilty last month. Good afternoon. I'm Vivian Tamayo, live in the KUSI newsroom. It's 2 o'clock. A small plane stalled in midair before it crashed into a tree at Palomar Airport, but the pilot is okay. Police say 45-year-old Alan Vizera was attempting to leave the Palomar runway for the second time when the single-engine aircraft stalled in midair. Investigators are still looking into the cause of a fire that scorched a boat along the San Diego Bay today. Officials say smoke was reported before the vessel was fully engulfed. No one was injured, but the boat was a total loss. For more local news 24/7, visit our website at KUSI.com. Our next news break is in 1 hour here on KUSI. We have news every hour, every day. And at this checkpoint tonight, we've seen some people be escorted to that secondary inspection point. We just saw another man who was pulled over, and it was discovered he had a gun in the vehicle. In the debate over illegal immigration, there is a side to the issue that we rarely see. A side some employers, migrant workers, and sympathizers wish we wouldn't. But anti-immigrant groups say they can't ignore the illegals living in McGonigal Canyon. They say this problem has to go.
Cooking devices here, looks like litter and all kinds of flammable material in the dry brush here that could be an extreme fire hazard.
This is a migrant camp. San Diego's Minuteman Project brought us here to show us the place where migrant workers call home. You'd expect to see these shacks in a third world country, but they're right here in Sorrento Valley, in the shadow of the American dream. In this neighborhood of million-dollar homes, you'll find these clandestine encampments nestled in the hills, where people have no running water, no electricity, and apparently no place to go. Just after noon, most of the men, women, and children living here were at work. Others vanished in the woods when they saw us. But Nicholas Melchor, an undocumented worker, agreed to talk.
¿Dónde se baña? ¿Dónde puede usar un baño? ¿Cómo es? ¿Es difícil?
Sí, eso es difícil.
Sí.
Sí. Es lo más difícil que puede haber.
27-year-old Melchor says there's nothing worse than living in these inhumane conditions, but he works in the fields picking tomatoes and earning $6.75 an hour. That's a lot more than he'd earn in Mexico, and he can help his family there too. Someday he hopes to afford an apartment. For now, he lives in this hut he built a year ago.
¿Cruzaste la frontera?
Sí, cruzar la frontera
¿Con qué? ¿Con un coyote o cómo fue?
con coyote.
A coyote smuggled him across the border and a farmer gave him work.
And nobody sees it, nobody cares. Nobody cares about these guys. Nobody cares that they're being exploited by American companies and labor.
Agricultural farmers are not bound by labor laws to pay for housing, so these workers are living in squalor. The Minutemen say they shouldn't be here, and neither should the Minutemen, said the alleged owner of this property.
We're leaving, but as we're leaving, they're throwing rocks at us.
Vivi and Tamayo, KUSI News.